early than late. So we'll wait till some people jump on here. We want to talk to you about a bunch of stuff, and we want to make sure that we go over any questions you guys may have, as we haven't done a live chat for a very long time. So whenever you jump on, make sure you do the same thing you always do and let us know what the audio sounds like, the video, if it looks okay. Right now, I don't think that I am hooked up through the internet, which probably be, no, yeah, I'm not. Should I just go through 4G? Nah, let's go ahead and let's connect up a different way.
I'm at 5.0. And I still don't see it on here.
Everybody's jumping on. It's there. You go to live.
Oh, that's where I'm at.
The live tab.
Yeah.
You refresh the screen.
Oh, you're there. Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Well, that says looks good and sounds great.
Awesome. Great. As always, here's my microphone. I'll make a noise first to make sure you hear mine. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Okay, now HEIDI's.
Scratch, scratch, scratch.
So just let us know if that's working for you there. I don't think that's going to work up there, so it's already paused. That's all right. I shouldn't have been doing that anyways. We'll just watch on there, as always. Turn that off. So yeah, it's been a while, guys. It's definitely been a while.
It's been since October 14th.
Oh, God, Heidi figured it out. Oh, turned on the wrong TV.
And of course,
that's one of the downfalls of having a couple TVs relatively close to each other. We may turn off the TV with the remote, but we got to make sure we're pointing it right at the TV.
Someone says bring the cameras closer.
Bring the camera closer? A little bit closer? We can. Let's see here.
Hi, Carla and Ken.
All right.
Yes, we're still using the old TV trays. Not the old
No,
one.
Yeah, the metal one's gone.
I actually sold that one.
Yeah,
The antique one.
Okay, so we pulled the camera a little bit tighter in there, make it a little bit more intimate. But I mean, the whole idea is we put a wide angle lens on there so you guys are, seeing around a little bit. So
I kind of wonder if you think the bathroom is soundproof and far away enough to use it while other ones filming or not. Maybe.
Maybe as long as we take off our wireless mics. Because if we can be going in there with our wireless microphones in, absolutely not. I gotta get my water. I don't have. I forgot it over here. You may hear a couple things. The air conditioner's going on in the bedroom. The air conditioner's not on in here, but the ceiling fan's on in here, and we have our ice maker running. So
Hi, Brenda.
hopefully there's not
Hi,
too much
Perry.
noise going on there. Whew. But it's been a long time coming. We know it too. We're finally.
We do have a nice tropical view behind us.
Yeah, well,
Kinda.
neighbors, but yeah, the landscaping's very nice here. They do a very good job keeping up with it. We can plant whatever we want. The neighbors that are over behind us, they used to be in this site, and she kind of has a green thumb, and she planted quite a bit. So we have a variety of different things growing in this area from when they planted it years prior. There's a beautiful big rose bush out here.
It's been blooming since we got here.
Yeah, and
I have aloe plants,
Yep.
kumquat plants. She brought a seed from Canada,
Yep.
even though she wasn't supposed to. And it's the biggest tree here.
yeah, and they've been,
All the flowers that I post, she's planted.
but they've been, now what happened was they always came down. There's a lot of them that come together, and they used to be here, and their friend was at that site over there. Well, their friend couldn't come down anymore. So they made sure that they let AJ know that they're going to be the ones, they want that site, which is great for them because they have it's kind of tight getting in and out of here. Well, in here for sure. It was a little tight for me to get in.
It wasn't undoable,
right?
But it was.
They have a fifth wheel also, and it's a little bit longer. Although they have a short bed truck.
Yeah.
Their fifth wheel's a little bit longer than ours by a couple feet. And they said when they left last year, they took out the mailbox. So they definitely wanted that site over there. Now that they've been over there, they got here in January. She planted, there's tomato plants and everything.
She's got tomatoes about this big.
Since January.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that. Remind me to talk about location and future plans and stuff like that. Because that's something that we're kind of struggling with at this point in time. The time has definitely come for us to interact with you guys on a live chat because we like doing it. But we haven't.
I don't like sitting in these seats.
Compared to the couch?
Yeah, because I'm going to be sitting like this.
You want a pillow?
You got one?
Oh, yeah. Here. Put that behind you.
So if I sit back, I might fall asleep.
Oh, yeah. She'll definitely fall asleep. So we've finally caught up on our videos at the moment. And when I say at the moment, we literally have something sitting over there that needs installed in the truck that I have to do a video on. And we just had a package delivered 30, 40 minutes ago that I have to do a video on also. And it just keeps on coming. So you guys are going to see a lot of DIY stuff that we're purchasing for the RV. If you think about it, when we had our Terry camper, you guys have been with us that long. All the stuff that we bought and installed, and to make as the series is called, make it our own. And then when we got the Rockwood camper, we made modifications to that quite a bit.
Yeah.
This one's the same thing. However, we're also reviewing items, and when I think that's one of the topics on here.
I keep a list in my
why
notepad.
we do so many reviews when we're parked. Yeah, it's because it's the best time to do it. There's very rarely, while you're on the road driving down the road or something like that, or when you're jumping park to park and traveling, it's very rarely a good idea to have a project go on because
it's very easy for us to get UPS, FedEx, Amazon, mail. We get mail right to our mailbox.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
Some of the places that we go to don't even accept to where you can get packages delivered. So for us, whenever we're parked, we had that question some time ago. They said, why do you guys do so many reviews whenever you're parked for a while? And it's kind of the only way that can be done, for sure. So I think there'll be some topics that we'll cover on here. Heidi will have to keep me informed what's going on over there because normally the laptop's closer to me. It's off to my left. I'm kind of leaning.
We have the non-carpet here, and so this table only goes so far.
Yeah, unless we go up on over top of it, and then I don't even
do that.
Yeah. Here, just try to pull it back over top of it. I can read it a little bit more. But yeah, this is some of the stuff that we've, and like she said, since October, what happens is, if you guys don't know, something will pop up. I'll read something, I'll see something, I'll hear something, I will be inspired, I will be ticked off about something, and I tell her, hey, jump on your notepad on your phone and write this down so I can talk about it. Because it struck a nerve, or it's something that needs to be talked about on some level, as far as I feel. And some of this stuff happened a while ago, so I know what some of the stuff I referred to, but you probably won't get the rant like you would have at the time.
Like I got.
Yeah, at the time, because I just go ballistic on stuff. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is drama channels, clickbait. That stuff still goes on every day. Heidi and I kidded around about how we're going to maybe one day spend the time and sit down and go through YouTubers and just take their thumbnails and put their faces or whatever they're doing. Because how many of them have you seen, which Heidi and I will recreate it. How many times have you seen, and we've done it a couple times, don't get me wrong, we've done it a few times, but these people are doing every single one to get you. So here's their channel, you know, blah 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 is happening and it's wrong, and then this is their snapshot, you know. They got some kind of a mean face or you know, it's always the same. And I'm like, seriously,
Hi Debbie.
That's kind of funny.
Hi Barefoot Adventures. It says, let me guess you're a Notre Dame fan. I don't think so. I'm not a fan of any of that.
No, I'm not really. What do I know?
You might be a fan of some of that stuff, but not
no,
me.
not really. I don't know which Notre Dame. Oh, do you think this is Notre Dame? This is Cleveland Indians, not Guardians. This is Indians. That might be worth more money now that says Indians on there. So I just want to warn you guys that, you know, there's a lot of channels and they just put out that clickbait just so you click on it. It's still up to you. It might be entertaining. Maybe you like that stuff. Just like whenever we see car accident channels, if I see that they posted a thumbnail and there's a car ramping over another car and there's sparks and fire, of course I'm going to watch it. That's why I'm watching it. But, you know, YouTube in general. But one of the other things that we talked about, and it's come up more than once, is free stuff. We are always approached for stuff to review all the time, constantly, lots of stuff. You guys have no idea the crazy stuff that they're trying to send us. I mean, we say no to everything that we possibly can, because every time we say yes, that means work for me. Unless we feel as if there might be some kind of merit to it, or it might be something that we think is a decent idea, which we've done plenty of videos on that and rehashed videos on that. You can hear our ice dropping in the distance probably. So yeah, we had some people say, oh, what about all that free stuff? You know, you're getting free stuff. And yeah, we do get free stuff sent to us, but it's not, we buy a lot of stuff too. I have a dash cam that I'll be installing in the truck. I purchased that. That was on a lightning deal. There was a battery charger.
And the reason we purchased the dash cam is because it's crazy out there.
No, it's crazy in Florida on a whole nother level. I mean, it's just a whole nother level. And I'll tell you how much it's on another level. Guess who hates, and I'll use the word hate, using the word hate here, just like you remember if you guys seen that movie, The Whole Nine Yards, you know, I hate mayonnaise. Well, anyways, that's what they were saying in the movie. I hate passing on the right-hand side. It is so wrong. It doesn't work. The traffic system is set up in a manner that you shouldn't be passing on the right. Guess who passes on the right just as much as they do the left now? Me. I just pass. I change lanes all the time. I pass on the right. I pass in the middle. I pass everywhere because that's what everybody does down here. They don't.
It's crazy.
And that's just one instance. The other thing you get to do down here, which I've never done this yet, if you're in the far left lane and there's 4 lanes, yes, you can make a right-hand turn at the intersection, and vice versa. If you are in the right-hand lane and you want to make a left and there's 4 lanes that you're traveling through, yes, you can make your left. Not only that, the arrows that are on the ground are a suggestion. So left turn, right turn onlys, those are just suggestions. And not only that, but the traffic lights are suggestions. If it's a green left arrow, green right arrow only. If it's a red, especially on red arrows, whenever the traffic light says red, it don't make a difference. So the traffic's gotten pretty bad down here. And we have a pretty good dash cam, which I did a video on that some time ago with our GPS. We do like it. However, identifying license plates with it, it's not the greatest. So we decided to get another one, and hopefully it works a little bit better. And there'll be a redundant. The other thing is our GPS, we don't like leaving it up in the windshield when we're parked for a period of time because of the Florida sun coming through the windshield, beating down on the GPS. We don't want that because it will shut off. And it looks like something people go, ooh, look at that big GPS. I want to steal it. So we're going to get a dash cam that kind of tucks up a little bit higher and also points to the back and I think inside. And that's for our own protection. Because right now, like whenever I was going to the VA for medical treatments and stuff, we would go, if the time permitted it or it made sense, we would stay at a hotel for the night. And the phone that we're currently using for the live chat is the phone that we use for a security system in the truck. We have a jumper pack that we plug it into, and we just put it on that Alfred app, which I've talked about that in the past. We just do the Alfred app and we turn it on and put some settings on there for motion and sound, and we'll get an alert anytime anybody's around the truck or walking in front of the truck or knocking on the truck or whatever. Even with that, we did get a ding in our door. And Saturday, we're taking it to go to paintless dent removal, and I think it's going to cost $175 to get the ding removed out of the door. They had to slam into it. I mean, it's just that way. So yes, getting back to what I was saying, we buy just as much stuff as we get. Actually, we buy more stuff than we get for free, for sure. There's no doubt about it. Last year...
Well, we turned down a lot of stuff, too.
Oh, my God.
We get 5 to 6 emails every couple days for...
What was that one just recently? And I'm like, how does this even come close to the RV lifestyle?
One of the things they wanted us to promote is some kind of dating site.
Oh, yeah. That was it.
And there was something else most recently. I can't remember what it was. It didn't have anything to pertain to anything that we're doing.
Yeah. But
and we don't do clothes and shoes and things like that.
Yeah, which we were asked to do some shoes at one point. We don't. We do buy a lot from Amazon. So, there's something else too. I think we're supposed to talk about that clam shelter at some point. I don't think we talked about it, did we? Or did we? We mentioned it. I think we mentioned it.
Mentioned it.
All right. So that's somebody had mentioned something about free stuff a while ago. Video question time. When we got to a location at one point, we had a neighbor at that time that had a pass-through storage in their vehicle, in their RV, and all day long it sounds like somebody was shutting our car door. And I mean like 2 to 5 times a day. And that went on for weeks at this location that we were at. And I thought, who in their right mind would put something in their pass-through storage on the far side of their RV? This isn't on their camp side of their RV. This is on their far side. You know, for them, the appliance side, the hookup side, the non-camp side, the service side of their RV. They're always getting in that door over there on a basis of probably 2
to 5 times.
5 times. I'll say 2 to 5 times within 2 days, and that just keeps on going on. So sometimes it might be only one time one day, but then the next time it might be 4 times, and slam the door and slam the door and slam the door. And I'm thinking, what possibly could they have in there that would require that? So my question was, how many times do you get into your pass-through storage, and what do you have, or what could you possibly have inside your pass-through storage that would require you to always get into it? Again, I'm not sure what it is. It's not that they're flushing their tanks. It's not that they're, we're talking about temperature and, you got to worry about heat or anything like that. Not at the location we were at, but I just thought it'd be something to mention. The other thing is there's 2 things that go along with this. You guys know that Ford recommends, and somebody asked me why, but Ford recommends in the manual, if you are heavy hauling or towing that you run 93 octane premium fuel in your truck. So guess what we do? We run premium fuel in our truck. We've always run premium fuel while towing. Now, if we know we're going to be at a location for a long period of time and I can get away with the cheap stuff, that's what we'll put in the truck. But we've always run at least 90 octane in the truck, and that's because out west they didn't have anything higher. Whatever the highest number is at the pump, that's what I put in it. So 93 is what's down here. Yes, it's expensive. So that brings me into another question, which is hitting all the channels and people drumming up news stories and stuff like that, for even the RVers, RV news story. They all like, so what are you guys going to do now that camping season is upon us and fuel is just crazy prices? How I'm going to stay at home, I'm not going to be able to afford to go anywhere. And I don't think anybody's actually added and done the math. These are people that are talking like that only go out for 2 weeks in a summer.
Yeah, but you got to figure that sometimes they are pressed for money.
I guess, but it doesn't make any sense if they really wanted to go and they had plans or they planned on doing it. Just because fuel went through the roof, why wouldn't you just cut yourself short somewhere else and
more?
and let's say it's going to cost them an extra $200 in fuel, then save up an extra $200 or sell something or do something so you could still go on vacation. Nonetheless, that brought me out to my answer to that, which was when I started driving, which you guys, there's a lot of you guys that watch us that are older than I am, but when I started driving, gasoline on average was 80 cents a gallon. I think I found it as cheap as 63 cents a gallon. But it was 80 cents a gallon on average back in 1982 or 83, something like that. And I remember by time it was 1990, if you had them pump your gas for you, which they still did that at some of the gas stations, they charged a little bit of a service fee, and gas was $1.25 a gallon. And I remember telling somebody, maybe my brother possibly, it'll be a cold day in hell that I'm going to pay somebody $1.25 a gallon for gas. That's just outrageous. At no point from that point on did I ever say, oh, well, I guess I just will have to live like a hermit and sit here and do nothing because gas prices rose another 30 cents and it don't look like it's ever coming down. Well, so what? I mean, I'm talking about when gas was 80 cents a gallon. What difference does it make now that it's $4.80 a gallon? I mean, it's no different than back then. And the thing is, I have a different perspective on it. And for everybody who's overseas, you guys have that same perspective. I had a really good customer back in 1990.
Carla and Ken said, she
34.
said 34 cents and his was 19.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so whenever I worked at Summit Racing, whenever I was 23, I think. So it would have been in 1990 that I started there. I had a really good customer that was in Denmark that had a Mopar, high-performance Mopar shop that he did a lot of Mopar stuff. And he had Hemis. And those Hemi cars, they don't get crap for gas mileage. I'm talking about old, real Chrysler 426 Hemis. And in big old cars with low gears because he used to take them and, race them drag strip and stuff. And he was telling me back then that he paid, so much money per liter. It wasn't even per gallon. It was per liter. And it was something, it was crazy. I added it up. And back in 1990, I was thinking, oh my God, it sounds like it cost you $50 just to go out and drive, for basically the weekend. And at that point, I just felt lucky that we weren't paying that much. And we still don't pay, what some of these other places pay. Except California, they always have a tendency to do something like that. So the other thing that I've responded to on this, and you guys probably will agree. I don't think any of us said, oh my God, I cannot wait to get that big fifth wheel and my truck so I can get good gas mileage. You know, we didn't we didn't get in this lifestyle for fuel mileage. I mean, the nice thing is we can control that by staying longer at places and not traveling as much. It's a cost of living for us that we can, you know, adjust. And don't get me wrong, I'm just like everybody else. I go to the fuel pump, and I'll tell you what burns my buns at the fuel pump. Whenever I'm close to E, and I don't mind that they're charging me. Don't get me wrong, I'm not happy they're charging me, but I don't mind that they're charging me $4 a gallon, especially when I'm into premium fuel. But what burns my butt more than anything else is that I'm out there and it's like I'm playing a slot machine, because it's nothing more than swipe the card, enter the code, and then pump until it stops at either $60, $75, or $100. Hang up the pump, bring out the credit card, swipe it again, enter the codes, and then go through that again, and maybe even a third time too, depending on what the price of gas is and how empty I am. You know, to fill a 48-gallon tank, I don't understand why, if they're going to charge us more, then they need to free up how much we're allowed to get at the pump. Now, I had somebody say, well, you know, you could probably go inside and prepay with a credit card and you wouldn't have to do that. And that is 100% absolutely true. But you guys know what happens when you walk into that cashier and say, hey, I need gas on pump 25 out there, because we're at Buc-ee's, and I need gas on 25. Okay, how much do you want? I don't know. I just want to top it off. I mean, I kind of can guess, but I want to make sure that I top it off. I don't know how much is going to go in there, and it doesn't work that way. They say, well, I'll tell you what, how about we charge you X amount of dollars for so many gallons, and if you need, we'll do a refund. Well, you know how that works. That refund will show up in a few days, and it's just a nightmare. It's not easy. So the only place that you can get around that is Pilot Flying J. When I use that card at a Pilot Flying J, I have their RV Plus card. We signed up for that a long time ago. When I get, you know, like 3 cents off a gallon, and there is no limit to it. I can, if I had to pump 275 gallons, I can.
So Bob around says $2 a liter there, and it's going up again.
Yeah. I mean, back, like I say, I know in Denmark, for the fuel that guy was running, I think he was paying. It was expensive. I just remember expensive, and it came out when I did the math. It was something like $4 a gallon or $3.89 a gallon, and for us, that was back in 1989 when gas was still 90 cents a gallon. You know, it wasn't real crazy here.
So $5.90 for 87 octane in California.
Yeah, I can't do that 87.
$4.69 a gallon in Pennsylvania for diesel.
Yeah, it's just
$3.84 at Walmart in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio's always seems to be a little cheaper.
$5.55 in Northwest Pennsylvania for diesel.
It's funny how,
because when we were in California, it was almost $5 a gallon
for premium.
Yeah,
for premium.
For premium.
Yeah, when all those fires are going on and stuff. But
Orlando Sam's Club has it for $3.89.
It's not. It's just a cost that you have to shell out. I mean, it's so whenever I see all these discussions that are going, those should be non-discussions. I mean, yes, it's more expensive, but none of us have ever thought, boy, I can't wait to go camping because I'm going to save so much gas. You know, it's going to be great. I'm getting in my most fuel efficient vehicle that I own, and I'm going to be driving it down the highway in the most fuel efficient way that I know, and that's not hauling anything. No, it's the exact opposite. You're getting in your least fuel efficient vehicle that you own, and you are pulling something behind it that's a big sale, that's going to cause you to spend more fuel than you normally would. So whenever people start, I think that's just drummed up drama about the whole thing. It's like, yeah, gas is expensive. You know, in perspective, you know, I'm not that old. I remember it was 80 cents a gallon, and looking at it now, I mean, yeah, it's expensive compared to 80 cents a gallon, but what was I supposed to do all those years that it kept on going up? Not live, not travel, not, and that back then, go cruising and street race. I mean, that's how we met. If, I was always drag racing, whether it was on the street or at the track. And yeah, that's, just buck up and deal with it. Talking about towing vehicles and that, I'm gonna say that this in the most polite way as possible, but it's so true. Listen, you guys have to. You might think you're informed. You might think that you know the numbers. I had a shop teacher that used to say this all the time, and I hated it back then. But it makes check, recheck, and check again, and it's the same. That, of course, the other one was measure twice, cut once, but check, recheck, and check again. He used to say that all the time. And whenever you're trying to figure out what kind of truck you need to tow your vehicle, if I have one more person that says, yeah, I've got a lightweight, and there's more to just towing the vehicle than getting the right weight that the dealer says you can pull. Oh, I optioned it up. I've got this gear. I got this tow package, whatever. I'm pulling a 34-footer or a 36-footer travel trailer, and I have a half-ton truck, but it has this package and that package. I don't know how many of them we've seen pulling a wheelie, and the guys are saying, oh yeah, that's okay. It's okay if it does that. It goes down the road great. I'm telling you, as soon as the weight starts compressing in the back, that means it's decompressing off the front, and that's where you want to keep it all. And even though I just referred to squat on the back of the vehicle and how much the trucks are squatting, that's just an easy indication of something's not right there. It needs to be more level. However, what everybody should be concerned with, and I hardly ever see anybody that talks about it for the most part, and that is they aren't looking at what their front is. If I hear, oh, I hooked up my trailer and it only squatted 3 inches, who cares what the back did? I want to know what the front did. That's where it's important. You need to know how much that front end came up. That's the most important out of everything. And how much weight you still got on the front. And for people to get their weight distribution bars and they've hooked up their 35-foot travel trailer or 34-foot travel trailer to their half-ton truck because their half-ton truck is the new whatever that just came out, and they say I can tow 11,000 pounds because I got the low gears in the back, and this trailer only weighs 9,000 pounds. My tongue weight is 1,100 pounds, and it's a half-ton truck. The thing is they hook up their weight distribution bars and it doesn't level it out whenever they crank them up. So immediately say, yeah, I think I better get airbags for that, or put some heavy springs in the back, or sumo springs, or just put, if you want to save yourself money, just get a couple 2x4s and jack the vehicle up and shove 2x4s in there and then lower it back down. I mean, it's the same thing. You're supporting all that weight on an axle that is got a max axle weight rating, and you're overloading. You're going over your cargo carrying capacity of your vehicle. Not only that, you're not level. The trailer's still nose down. The truck back end is down. The front is up. So whenever you crank up your weight distribution bars and it doesn't look right and you still look like you're not quite level, you need to know what's going on with the front end. You need to know how much weight you've got on the back end. I've never seen such a larger group of people that we deal with, that ask us questions legit. I'm so glad they ask, but I try to be as polite as possible to let them know you need to do your homework. I can't tell you what you need to do, but you need to be doing some homework, because as soon as they talk about a trailer that's 9,000 pounds, the tongue weight is usually like 15%, 15% is what the manufacturers are shipping them out now. And I mean, you can get an idea. You're over 1,000 pounds on the tongue, and most of the half tons are only, 1,200 to maybe at the most 1,900 payload. And that's without, your passengers and whatever else you may throw in there. And then on top of that, they start throwing bikes and stuff on the back. the reason that I'm really talking about this at an extent that made this list is because we're all out on the road with these people. And if I see one more stupid, you could tell a mile away, one more truck and trailer that's all twisted up and upside down and sideways in the ditch, and they're doing a video on, oh my word, I don't know what to do. You can see the truck and trailer combination that they have, and you can see a bunch of stuff on their back bumper. And it's like, dude, I don't even have to see that upright, and I could tell that you had it all screwed up. You weren't matched correctly. You shouldn't have been doing it. Nobody wants to go out and buy a 3/4 ton or 1 ton or a dually truck to pull their trailer around, especially if it's for the weekend. I understand that, and I agree 100%. And now the gas prices are getting to where everybody's panicking. The half-ton trucks do so much better when they're empty compared to a 3/4 or 1 ton truck. I mean, they do a lot better. However, that's not a reason to buy that. I would rather see you buy some old piece of junk 3/4 or 1 ton truck that is slow but can handle the weight. And again, I want to talk about here, they've got a short bed, extended cab, in a half-ton truck, and they're pulling, they've got the tail wagging the dog. They've got a trailer that's just extremely long. Try to measure it up. I mean, just look at it. Just stand back and look at it, or vision it in your mind of, hey, here's my little truck, and this is the trailer I'm putting behind it. How well is this going to control that? I mean, even tugboats with ships, there's a few of them that are helping it along the way. In this case, you've got one little tugboat that you're trying to use to pull that ship, and it's just not
Ken
good.
and Carla got their 3,500.
Oh, nice. It's a big difference. I mean,
yeah.
And the thing is really the
All right, Herbie, be safe.
Adios, Herbie.
Yes, we got a lot of windows in the...
Yeah. The half-ton, don't get me wrong, the half-ton trucks, if you guys just look at them, they're the right ones to have to drive on a daily basis if you just go out on the weekends and that. But just buy a trailer that matches that. I mean, that's the way to look at it is, okay, I didn't buy a big, nice hauling truck to haul my RV, so maybe I'll keep my RV kind of small to match the truck. Don't say, well, listen, I know I can just get by with this truck, and I can still get this big 33, 34-foot travel trailer, or toy hauler, or whatever the case may be. And the funny thing is if you don't need the truck to drive on a daily basis, if your wife has a car, you have a car, and you have that truck, and you kind of bought it just to go make errands and run, pick up lumber, and maybe you use it for your work occasionally, and of course you use it to pull your RV. I'm telling you, the prices, of course, with the shortages is completely different, chip shortages and that, but the prices on 3/4 tons and even 1 ton trucks aren't that far removed from what they're charging for half-ton trucks. Just back off you don't need heated seats necessarily, just to go camping, and haul your truck. If you're just looking to have a truck, look at 3/4. Just look at 3/4 tons, at least 3/4 tons. Again, I didn't want to talk about that much, but I feel strongly about it because we see it out here on a daily basis. It is crazy. We have not posted, even though we have lots of pictures that we have taken, just at the gas station, whatever. And I mean, it's like this. The vehicles are parked at the gas station. They're filling up, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope this guy don't see me. But man, and I think, I better not post that because it's wrong. I'm calling him out. I don't know the situation there. The guy may have just pulled it from, the RV park, and they're just trying to get it back to their house 2 blocks away. I mean, that's something entirely different. But out on the highway, that's a whole nother story. Let's see here. When we first got to the RV park, I'm sorry. Way to go back to the one more thing about the trucks. And as far as trucks are concerned, the other thing that we're seeing a decent amount of, it's waned a little bit, but if I see one more clueless person that shouldn't be clueless, I think that they're just saying, hey, who cares? Let's see what happens. if I see one more person that gets their truck and their camper and decides, hey, I'm going to go to Washington State. I know I'm in Florida, but I'm going to drive to Washington. And they just take off and go. And then when their truck breaks down, all of a sudden we got woe is me videos. You know, oh, what am I going to do? And they're literally saying, please go fund me. I need help. I'm stuck. We don't know what to do. I know I'm a different person than most, but I think that the most people are the way that I am, as far as you don't want to break down. You don't want to have to deal and worry about that stuff. You want to be able to enjoy your drive, enjoy your travels. So I see that a lot, and I just be aware whenever most of our subscribers, if not all of our subscribers, are very kind people. More kind than I am, most likely, I'm sure. And I know that you know it pulls at your heartstrings whenever you see a young family that is posting a video on YouTube and they show their truck either wrecked in the ditch or broke down, and it's something that could have been avoided. And they're asking for money, and you're thinking, oh, well, maybe I should help them out because I can. Now, don't get me wrong. Heidi gets upset when I do that stuff. Homeless guys, hey, do you got any change? And I'll tell her, hey, peel a 20 out of your wallet and just hand it to him. And she's like, why? And it's like, because we can. We can. If the guy seems legit and he's stooped to the level where he's asking. Now, these guys that are standing on the corner with the sign, that's a whole nother story. I mean, they're making bank, some of those guys. But, I mean, whenever we run into, and there's a lot down here.
Yeah.
When we run into them, you know, I always talk to the guys. I mean, they're people. They know their lot in life and what's happening right now. But a lot of these guys, they're just trying to get by, and I don't know what they're planning on doing with the money. But the fact that they have to ask, you know, just to get to that level where you're asking people for money, that's takes a lot for somebody to do that. And I feel that way. So you guys do whatever you want, but I'm just saying that I see there was a rash there probably 3 months ago. Yeah, 3 months ago, that people were, oh, my truck's broke down and I need money because we need to get home. And it's like, what? You should know better. You know, you know how towing works. You know what you're pulling, and you know what you planned on doing. So there's a reason we bought a brand new truck. We didn't want to buy a brand new truck, but we needed that peace of mind. I could have done this with our old truck. Can you guys imagine that? Our old truck, the old F-250 that we had, the HD, that was an HD, that 460. I think this, if we didn't load this fifth wheel up completely, we could tow the fifth wheel with it. Can you imagine that, though? So anyways, so I just want to say, you just can't hook up with whatever you have and travel. And this is coming from a mechanic. So just pretend that you're thinking about hitting the road and going out and traveling, and you don't know a mechanic, and you just decided to contact me. I'm the mechanic, and I'm going to tell you, you just can't hook up and go. There's math to be done. You need to know your tongue weight. Look for a cat scales. Look for a feed scales, something. I'm going to tell you immediately when we have our truck in the configuration that we know we're going to be towing this fifth wheel with. We can go 6 miles, I think it is, or 7 miles to the Catskills. What is it, Hyde? 6 or 7 miles.
Yeah, it's not very far.
So we're gonna drive to the Catskills. We're gonna weigh our truck, so we know what it weighs with us in it, with like a full tank of gas, and all the stuff we plan on carrying in the truck. And then we'll come back and hook up with the fifth wheel whenever we're getting ready to go and hit the road. And we're gonna, of course, weigh everything then at that point. I am going to find out what my kingpin weight is. I do have, I did a video on that some time ago. I've been carrying around all this time my tongue scale, my tongue weight scale that I used for our Terry camper, and then I used it for our Rockwood with the Pro Pride hitch on it. I think I should be okay as far as weight. I think it goes to 2,000 pounds. I'm pretty sure the jack goes to 2,000 pounds, or the scale. The thing is, when you buy those scales, you should have your guesstimated weight, whatever you think the tongue weight should be. The scale, it should be in the middle of the scale. Well, it's not going to be. It's going to be on the max side of the scale. I should be able to figure that out anyways whenever we go to the scales with the fifth wheel hooked up. But I just want to see how accurate the scale is, and let's see if we have to move stuff around. All right. Go ahead.
Speaking of the 460, did you ever figure out how to make the setting unit work in the 38-gallon tank?
Yeah, I just had to. Oh no, not accurate. No, not accurately. Now, people have said, "Oh, you should have bought the Bronco sending unit," and that one was a 33-gallon. It should have been close, maybe.
We never run out of gas.
We never ran out of gas, and the reason is, and I told the guy that I sold it to, I know it looks stupid. I have a little decal that's on the dash, and I said it's for the rear tank. I don't know if you guys remember that, or if I showed that on the video or not. It's been so long. But when we first installed that tank, and it was bone empty, and I screwed around with that float as much as I possibly could and got it bent just the way that I think was the closest potential of it being accurate. When we went to the gas pump, I had HEIDI inside. We had the ignition on the truck. It wasn't running, but the ignition on. And I pumped in so many gallons. And whenever the needle moved at all, she would say, "Hey, it just moved." I would stop. I would look at what the needle was at. And then I would look at the gallons. And I did that for 1/8 a tank, 1/4 of a tank, whatever, 3/8 of the tank, all the way up. We did that all the way to full. So we knew how many gallons each one of those hash marks were. So when we were on the rear tank, whenever it was at full, we knew it was at 38. And it would drop. It took a while for it to drop. And then even like, it took a while for it to get to half a tank.
Yeah, the little sticker on the dash.
Yeah, but that sticker told us at each one of those hash marks how much fuel I had in there. And that was the easiest way to do that. The amount of time I spent trying to figure out that sending unit. And somebody told me, and I should have listened to them, tell you the truth. Somebody told me, just put the stock sending unit in there, the stock, of course I had to extend it, but they said just use the stock float and everything in it. And they said the thing about that is, who cares if it's stuck on full for 6 days if you're driving it back and forth to work, and then all of a sudden it drops. As soon as it starts dropping, it's going to be accurate, because the thing is with that sending unit, all I was doing was taking the float that was on the bottom, and instead of it being up here and working correctly for a gas tank that was only that tall, I was putting a gas tank in that was that tall, and I was extending the unit, and then that float would have worked to empty just like it would have for the skinny tank. So the problem is whenever you fill it and it's maxed out, it stays on full, and you have all this gas you got to go through before the sending unit starts to move. But the measurements that you get from this point down is the most important, because once you get past a certain point, you know that you're going to be at empty. And it usually comes, after you're probably definitely under half a tank. It would start saying, or being a little bit more accurate. But no, the answer to that is I did not get it dead on, but we definitely knew how much gas we had in there. We knew exactly, definitely to the gallon, and probably more accurate than most gas tanks that are from the factory. Let's see. When we first got here, we had a set of Canadians that were back here, and I just want to let everybody know this. I think most people know this, but they didn't. Whenever you have those outdoor coolers, I've done reviews on those things. We put one in our son's van. We did a couple reviews on them. They look like chest coolers that have compressors in them. Greg and Karen, they bought one from us. They're nice. They're very nice to have. Those, and like our wine cooler thing that we have here, the little dorm refrigerators. Just to let you know, you can't put those outside. They can't go out in the rain. We had a neighbor behind us that when he first got here, he had a refrigerator, just a dorm refrigerator outside, and it rained. It was a real hard rain. And I think that was in December.
Yeah.
And we seen him go out to open it up or do whatever, and he got shocked. He got jolted. Well, next thing we know, we see that refrigerator sitting out in the middle of his patio.
Oh, thanks.
And
She'll bob around. Gave us a
oh, thank you.
very sweet of you.
Thank you. Super chats. Oh, I need to. I'm supposed to do my thing. I don't even know if I still have that, guys. It's been so long. But the thing is, that next thing we seen back there is they bought one of those chest style coolers, and although they look like Coleman coolers, you can't put those out in the rain either. They're not made to do that. So he did protect it. I think it might have lasted because he put it underneath a table. But I just want to let you know, in case you didn't know, you cannot put dorm-style refrigerators outside in the weather where they get rained on, nor can you those 12-volt compressor refrigerators I've done reviews on, those chest-style cooler refrigerators. Yeah, you can't put those out in the rain either. Okay, let me see if I can find this for you guys, because I used to do this all the time when we... I think this is it. And maybe? It's been so long, nope, that's not it. It's been so long, I don't even know where it is.
You doing your noise?
Oh, that was the whole reason I had this downloaded on my phone. That was so long ago. Here we go. I found it. Ready? And this is because you guys gave us a live chat. You get this. That was the super chat. That was our super chat siren. Heidi wanted me to bring up this point some time ago. And this is the last thing on our list. These outlets that are in the walls of the RV.
Because I watched a video.
Yeah, they are not like your house outlet. Remember when you were kids and your parents would yell at you about, hey, don't just yank the cord out of the wall. Go over there and pull it out. You know, it'll break or it'll cause a... And they were kind of accurate. I mean, if you could pull it straight out and it wasn't really in there, if it wasn't a tight outlet, it would work. A lot of these you can't do that. You can see them move it. Yeah, it's so thin.
You need to put your... I mean, I have a way to do it.
Especially 3-prong. The 3-prong ones are even tighter.
I just put my fingers on the outlet, on the outside of the outlet, and pull the cord out. I mean, some of the walls they're thin.
Put that down.
They're not
circular
putting them on 2x4s or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's we have. It's really nice, which we talked about in one of our videos. It's nice because you guys, it was awesome. I didn't really shoot a video on it. I guess maybe I should have, or at least covered it because it was live. When we first got the fifth wheel, it was kind of like when we first got our travel trailer, the Rockwood travel trailer. I set up a camera inside the Rockwood, and as I drove down the street, I recorded everything that happened inside. So I could see how much was bouncing around, how much stuff was moving around, how much we had to pay attention to when we went down the road. Some things may need to get secured better than others. And we learned a lot doing that. Well, because we have the solar set up on the RV here, and we have a 1,000 watt inverter, there's outlets, like the outlet for my computer and everything here. I know you can't see it. You might be able to see the wireless or Wi-Fi router here. Maybe I'm touching it. That was all plugged into an outlet that is run off the battery through the inverter. And then we have these USB outlets too. And I think you might, yeah, you can see it there. Heidi will point to it. You'll see it on the camera.
What's that? This?
Yeah, just point. You can see it, yeah.
The Wise.
That's our Wise camera for our security. So we had that sitting in here, and we had another Wise camera over there on something. And I had both of them running, and they were connected to the internet. So when we were driving down the road coming back from Jacksonville, I I shouldn't have been, but I was watching on my phone to see what was going on inside the RV as we drove down the road, you know, hitting bumps and just moving around. And I'll tell you, everybody that's on here, let me know how many of you currently own a fifth wheel, and how many of you currently own a travel trailer, and how many of you had one or the other. You know, there's like us, we just had travel trailers prior to this. And there might be people that have just had fifth wheels and they've never had a travel trailer. But what I'm assuming is everybody that's got fifth wheels now used to have travel trailers. Just let me know. I'm kind of curious how many of you did that. But I also want to know then how did it feel for you guys when you went from your travel trailer, if you went into a fifth wheel? Because there is a different level of, now I know Rockwood, they do a very good job. I mean, I know that they do a good job with their stuff. And I know that has a lot to do with it. But even their travel trailer was very well built, and it felt very secure inside when we compared it to a lot of other travel trailers. When we towed with it, stuff would bounce around and move around, and we had to make sure we secured certain things a certain way. And we knew that when we stopped, our TV trays, even though they were turned upside down and slid kind of underneath the couch, they would have potentially slid out where the rock or the recliner was. And we know that there was a drawer that always tried to come open and stuff like that. But we knew that stuff moved around in there.
See, somebody has a travel trailer and they have a fifth wheel and they hate it. So
Yeah.
they're gonna sell it.
Well, I'll talk about that, because there's definitely another side to this. However, after being in that travel trailer for as long, when you come inside this fifth wheel, the feeling is wearing off at this point. We're getting numb to it. But I remember the very first day that we moved into this, and it was just so different. HEIDI walking in and out of the unit. Now, a lot of that has to do with that 4-point leveling system or whatever that's going on out there. But nonetheless, walking through the RV, closing doors, going up the steps, coming down the steps, going, up top, going outside, the sound inside. Somebody mentioned about all our windows. Yeah, we got, like I mentioned, they're all insulated, so they're double paned. The sound is more quiet in here than the travel trailer. The feel underneath the foot is more secure. When we're in here moving around, it doesn't seem like that we're shaking the RV for the other person that's sitting and trying to relax. Same going in and out of the RV, even with those the sure steps that we have. They were really good with the travel trailer, but we still could feel. I can't tell when HEIDI gets out of bed. She gets out of bed earlier than me normally. I can't tell when I don't know when she goes outside. I don't know any of that. She can be down here. I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
It's quiet. It's quiet up there. When we go to our room, it's quiet up there.
Yeah.
We have the air conditioner usually running for some noise. But like the bathroom, even though it's right there, we don't hear when we're in the bathroom. There's times that she's got up in the morning taking a shower, and I didn't hear it.
It's right next door.
And it's right there. It is just a huge difference as far as the way it feels. So that travel trailer it's basically got me convinced that we were in a trailer. This one here feels different than a trailer. It definitely feels different than just a trailer. It feels like something else. Now, with that said, it also doesn't tow like our travel trailer. I could throw that thing around like nothing. All the traveling we did, there was just a couple of times that we got to where it was tight. And to get through traffic, stop and go traffic, staying with traffic, keeping up with traffic, passing people, getting on ramps, all that stuff, is going to be, or was, so much easier than what this is going to be. This is fine. We still do fine with it. It's just, we're moving mass, and you can tell that we're moving mass now. Of course, that's not to our disadvantage because we don't plan on traveling as much as we did compared to with the travel trailer. We're still going to travel, obviously, but we're not going to do that crazy 20-some thousand miles or whatever we did last year. I can't. We're not going out west again. There's parts of out west we wouldn't mind going back to, but and Quartzsite's still kind of on our list at some point. I don't know if that'll happen, but it's definitely a different feel. So I remember the first time when we went from a tent and we got into a pop-up trailer. All the nice things about, oh my word, this is nice. I can rent a site at a campground, and I don't have to worry about if it's going to be muddy, because now we're getting up into a pop-up. Obviously, got to worry about if it's muddy outside where you're walking in and out, but you don't have to worry about that. Then we went from the towing the pop-up was, oh my, with an F-150. I mean, I flew with that thing. I didn't drive like I was towing anything. So then when we went, to another pop-up that was a little bit bigger, and then we went into our Terry camper, that was another, wow, this is so nice. It's, it's quieter. There's no more canvas. The humidity, the sound, the feeling, being able to leave stuff in there. So that was a really nice upgrade for us that we felt very strongly about. We were glad to do. When we got into the Rockwood from the Terry, the Rockwood, of course, quality-wise, was just all across the board great. We immediately missed the Terry camper just being so small and being able to just throw it around, not just drive it. It was so easy. The Rockwood, whenever we got our 2019 F-250, that was a nice pulling, driving. So we kind of upgraded all the way around. We upgraded, the trailer, of course, got bigger and heavier, but the truck got bigger and stronger, and more features. So that was kind of cool. That worked out to our benefit. And then when we got the F-350, of course, that even made it better. But now that we're in the fifth wheel, of course, we have that growing pain again. There's a lot of pluses, but we are now, there's, as far as towing goes, and my side of things, more than Heidi's side of things, there's more involved there. There's more cautious. There's more that I'm looking into and paying attention to. We've got. I'll end up doing a video whenever we tow. I did hook up the backup assist, whatever Ford calls that thing. That's fun. That's fun to play with. I can still back it up without it better, but I mean it's. I think I might be able to get used to it. Maybe Heidi can try to play around with it. It does work. I'll tell you one feature that has really nice is whenever you're backing up. If you guys don't know, this F-350 has a steering motor on it that will turn the steering wheel for you. So whenever you put it in reverse, you can push a button that says backup assist on the dash, and it takes a while for it to recognize your trailer. I put the sensor and everything on the trailer, but it takes a little while for it to go through its little thing. And then as you're backing up, you just turn the knob on your dash and steer the trailer that way. The truck does whatever you want. You don't have to think about, okay, I want the back of the trailer to go right, so I need to be turning left with the steering wheel. You don't have to think about it, and after a while it becomes second nature anyways, but you don't have to think about it. You just know, oh, I want the trailer to go that way, I'm going to turn the knob that way. And I want the trailer to go that way, you turn the knob the direction you want. The best feature, though, by far, is whenever you get your trailer lined up and you want everything to straighten out at that point, you just let go of the knob and you just back up real slow, and it figures it out all automatically to line everything up straight with the trailer.
Oh,
now that's kind of a nice thing. Definitely don't click that right there. But that's a really nice thing. Uh-oh, Heidi lost your chat. She lost all kinds of stuff. She's over here she was on Pornhub or something. She had 3 windows open.
I guess we don't need to see the picture.
What picture's that? Just, oh yeah, I guess well, it might be helpful if it freezes or something.
That's true. I don't know how.
So just close it and reopen it.
Okay, I can do that.
So the, we'll have to show that maybe a little bit more detail, but it was fun towing the fifth wheel. I like the hooking and unhooking part of things. We've got one issue that we're dealing with as far as storage. We'll talk about that in a future video. And I'll tell you the secret. It has to do with e-bikes. If you guys don't know, we mentioned it or we discussed it or maybe we didn't. Our electric folding bikes, we got rid of them. We sold them. Yeah, there's something too. We bought all those bikes. Oh, wow. I bought all those scooters. Nobody sent us that. But we are moving forward with a couple new e-bikes, and those were something that we were sent to try out. And the whole idea is behind that was if we can't use the folding bikes in a folding configuration, or if it doesn't make any sense to fold them up, then might as well have full-size bikes.
I don't know.
Because we'll end up putting them on the back on the cargo rack that's in the back. What's the problem?
I don't know. I brought it back up and...
Okay, first of all, you're using a mouse pad. Here, let me have the mouse. I can't. I don't even know if I can use a mouse pad anymore. All right, let's see if we can get Heidi straightened out here. And we'll do this. And where's our YouTube studio? Or I could have just done our video. And content. And live. And boom. And boom. Oh, how did you do that? Oh, it's because of this. Where's the size?
The mini player?
Oh, that's not it. That's what you clicked initially, huh?
Yeah. Is it
there's
default view?
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I can't see it very well. All right. So that is all that I had to talk about. Oh, it looks nice outside. I don't know if you guys can see the sky back there. Maybe.
Will we be buying a home base in Vero? Probably not yet.
Oh, so let me. We can share that information with you.
It's done and over with.
Yeah, it's done over with. We released that information. I posted that picture of the mobile home. We bought that mobile home. We had it for a month. We sold that mobile home. We decided that we didn't want to stay in this park, or in any park for that matter.
Yeah.
This park is a killer deal of a park. He just recently raised the lot rents, and it's still some of the lowest rent in the area. The guy cares about this park. He's always at the park in the morning. He's a no-nonsense guy. He's fun. He's funny. He's very cordial. But he makes sure that people know they got to keep their trailer straight, because he's not here to have a slum. He doesn't hardly have to say anything to most people, but there are people that are told you need to pressure wash your roof, you need to pressure wash your driveway, you need to paint your mobile home, you need to clear out these trees that are overgrowing your unit, and they do. Almost everybody does. There's crews that he has that you can call and say, hey, can you tell me how much you'll charge to pull this tree out of, because it's up against my building. Whatever. All the places in here are very nice. That trailer that we bought that we posted on that video was a 1964, right? It was a 1964.
Yes. Yeah.
It had a lifetime roof on it. It was some kind of a metal formed roof. It was very clean inside. It had a 6-year-old central air with a dehumidifier system. I don't know how it worked. I wasn't clear on that, but it was very nice. It was 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Had a big Florida room with a pull-out couch. It was air conditioned in the Florida room also. It had a carport. It had a double shed in the back. Had a patio in the back. It was up against trees with no neighbors behind you. It's all wooded behind there. It was close to the laundry. It was just nice. Everything about it was very nice. And it was a very good deal, so we bought it. And we had it rented out within
a couple weeks.
Yeah, within a couple weeks of us owning it. We had it rented because we knew we were going to be traveling in this RV until like May of next year of 2023. Mm-hmm. We're going to be traveling still. So we weren't going to necessarily use that mobile home throughout the winter. So we had that rented out, and the rent down here is like $1,700 a month is what you charge. For that mobile home, we had it rented out for $1,700 a month for 4 months during the winter. And during the summer, you could rent it out, and you could get like, I don't know, $500 a week on the low end.
You could probably get more.
Yeah, rooms down here, just one room with one private bathroom that you share the rest of the house, are like $700 a month to rent down here. It's very expensive. So we decided that we wanted to have a place that we could call a home base, and that we could potentially, maybe park the fifth wheel if needed to be in the future after we're done traveling. If we're done traveling, we don't even know yet. We think we might be. We're not sure yet. But that was the cheapest by far. So to give you the numbers, the place that we bought, I think it was $26,000, just under $26,000, and we bought it outright, and lot rent was $675 a month. Mm-hmm. With water, electricity, and all that stuff, it comes out to like $705 a month or something like that.
Not with electricity, just water.
Oh, well, electricity might have been more. I don't remember.
Electricity was separate.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Anyway.
But it wasn't very much. And I thought for us to be able to live down here, if we wanted to actually have a place, that was the cheapest thing. Now the problem was you guys know how I like to tinker. If we were going to be stationary for any period of time, I'd have to have a garage, a shed, a building, a yard, something that I could put stuff in.
And you can't work on anything here.
You can't. Yeah, you're not supposed to work on anything here, even though people might do a small tinker here and there with their hood up briefly. Most of the time, it's not happening. That's just not what this is about. The park is safe. It's centralized. It's 3.6 mile bike ride to the beach. Everything is close. It's just a great location. So we thought about maybe picking up a house that was less than a quarter of an acre. It was a postage stamp city lot. There was no HOA. It was a decent house. Did not have a garage, a carport, or anything else. It was 2 bedroom, 1 bath. I think the square footage on it was like 1,100 square feet. And it is $200,000. And it's like, what? You got to remember that we only paid $40-some thousand for our house in Beloit, and then we lived in there for 20 years, and we only sold it. We doubled it. Our selling, I think we sold it for $90,000, right?
Yeah.
It was so. For the fact that we had, even though that house wasn't anything unbelievable, but it was small, and it was old, and we had a decent amount of property there, and had the 2-car garage, and it did what it's supposed to. It served us and did exactly what we needed over the last 20 years.
Patrick says he don't know why trailer towing and weights aren't required for part of Trevor's education.
Oh yeah,
that's good. I mean,
very true. So we did have that brief clip that I showed, that trailer, and we did buy it. But then we sold it. And it sold right away because I'm telling you, this area, like the neighbor set up the street, the neighbor, I said, I can't believe how expensive these properties are. And he says, well, it's not like they're making more waterfront property or beach property. He says, there's just only so many places people can live. And I noticed something down here, which if you guys don't know this, I know this now. It's nice to live, of course, right on in between the Indian River and the ocean on A1A. It's awesome to live out there. You're talking in the millions for anything out there, unless you get a condo, and even then it's crazy. But most people, what they do is they try to move on, on the west side of the Indian River and know that they can get to the beach or the river relatively easy. The closer you are to a causeway, which we're real close to 2 causeways that go over the river to get you to the beach, the closer you are to that, the more expensive it is. So, like if we go up to Sebastian, up the road just a ways, all the way up to even lower Palm Bay area, that kind of thing, there's no causeways to get you over to the ocean, really. So all that land, the further away you get from the causeway, it starts getting cheaper there. The thing that we struggle with if we decide we want to buy something down here is, and it's not a bad thing, we still would want to travel, but I think we would go back to traveling maybe the way we used to. However, I don't think there's any way that we could swing it.
Thank you, Inspirational Nomad. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, we gotta find my thing.
Sure.
Get my sound thing out here. We got a super chat, and
How far are we from the Keys?
few hour, four. Well, depending on what part of the Keys.
Yeah.
Like Key West, of course, that drive is real long. We're halfway through the state, so it's the traffic through Miami would be a nightmare. We thought about that, but anyways, I don't know how many hours that would be. It's got to be 6 hours, right? 5 hours, maybe 5 hours worth of driving.
Probably. I never actually.
But the one thing that we're finding is if we try to swing it to where we buy a home base, it might just do that. It might put us back, where our feet are pretty firm. Heidi's already having a hard time. If you guys don't know, you can send her all your encouragement that you can. She can't stand sitting still. I don't know how many jobs she's already looked at and thought about. She's like, I think I want to go back to work. It's like
if I can make money with my Cricut,
Yeah.
and then you can get that and show them because it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah.
If I could make some signs or something.
Everybody
I
says
don't
that.
know. Everybody's making
I'll
signs.
buy a T-shirt. Make
Yeah.
a company business.
Well, I don't want to get into T-shirts yet,
Yeah.
but I made this yesterday.
Yeah. The
So
whole thing is the
maybe I could bring it closer because it's a little small.
oh yeah it's very nice. I think she did a really
Turned
good
out
job.
pretty good.
But the
But,
whole idea is that I think if we decide we're going to land somewhere,
There, it fits right there.
does it really? I think if we're going to land somewhere, it's probably going to be a situation where we might have to rethink and redo our finances. I mean, we afforded our lifestyle and owning a home before and buying the stuff that we did by us working. I was working from home. Nonetheless, I was still, working, and Heidi was working her job. We would probably have to kind of do that for a little while again, and we don't necessarily want to get back into that lifestyle. However, we think that it would be really nice to jump on the bandwagon of trying to get some of this property before it all busts. We know that there's going to be another bubble at some point. There's no way that it couldn't. Not the way the prices are through the roof here. But the problem that we have with trying to find a place in Florida, before you guys start suggesting, oh, I know a place in Lakeland, or I know a place in, Ocala, or in Palatka, or I know some place that's out by Lake Okeechobee real cheap, anything like that. The problem with that is the reason we love the weather here so much is because we don't go to the beach.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Sound like a
Delivery. Just because we go to the beach or don't go to the beach, it doesn't mean we don't enjoy that ocean breeze. Because our awnings are barely put out on a daily basis because the breeze that we get here is pretty nice. It's very rarely that it's stagnant, and you can tell it's a nice ocean breeze. Like I said, it's as far as the crow flies, I bet we're 3 miles if it was a straight crow fly to the beach, it's got to be 3 miles. So we feel a lot of that weather. We don't want to get inland to where we're in that sweltering heat in the summer and there's just no breeze. But that's where the cheaper properties are that could be had. Of course, we still entertain the thought of setting up at some point. Like I said, we have a whole year to decide all this stuff. A whole year, easily. And then maybe even more. We don't know. But we're gonna start thinking about trying to find a place we could park the RV. We could get a piece of property, put in a well, put in electric, and make ourselves our own little lot somewhere. I think though that you guys know how we like to stay at campgrounds and some of the amenities that we like to have available to us. This place that we're at now is right up there, top of the rung of a nice area. The only thing that we don't care about is the siren. We hear a lot of sirens. The fire station's not that far, and it just seems like that there's always loud cars. We hear them out on the road occasionally. Don't get me wrong, it's not like that all the time, but it is something that we would just rather not hear at all. So we'll have to find out. But yeah, that's what that trailer was, and that's kind of our thought process. But we've got so much traveling we need to do here still. We haven't made any plans yet. We kind of want to, at some point, want to get to the Michigan UP. I have to go see that. That is a huge, long drive from where we're sitting right now. And that wouldn't be the first place we went to, because I want it to be in the heat of the summer when we get up there. But we would like to make it up the coast. But as you guys know, of course, that live East Coast wise, that traveling should have been done with a travel trailer that was only 11'2" instead of a fifth wheel that's, I don't even know what we are in height. Do you remember what it was? Are we 13 foot high?
13 something.
13.2.
Something like
I think we're 13.2. So you can imagine some of these bridges. I mean, as you go up through these older towns and that, we'll have to be very cautious, and it's just different. But I think that's what we're going to end up doing is heading up the coast, trying to hit the last few New England states all the way up, maybe Vermont and that, and then come back down underneath Lake Erie. We'll have to stop in Ohio. We have to do tags, and Heidi's got to renew her driver's license, stuff like that. And then we will probably head up to the UP of Michigan at some point. I know that we'll be going. I can't imagine us not being at the Hershey RV show. There might be another RV show we may hit. I don't know where that might be. But there's so many things that we want to discuss and cover on the fifth wheel still. Not just the stuff that we're doing, all this project stuff that we're reviewing and buying and installing, but we want to show you just the features. I mean, even like the fireplace is really cool. You can set all the different lighting, how bright it is, how dim it is. There's different light patterns, and the thing puts out a decent amount of heat. It really does a really good job. The refrigerator, a little bit more in detail about the refrigerator, what it looks like inside, how much you can fit in there. It is very plentiful compared to what we had prior. Some of the solar stuff we need to talk about. The solar
washer and dryer.
Oh my God, this washer and dryer! I'm going to tell.
So awesome.
Here's a spoiler alert. I don't know what it's like to have the washer dryer combo that's all one unit. So you put your clothes in, you fire it up, they wash, and then they drain, and then it turns into a dryer and it dries them. I don't know what that one's like, and I don't know what some of these other ones are like. But the washer and dryer that we have in here, it is a washer and a dryer. And we read so many blogs and posts and reviews about they leak, they break down, there's problems with them. They don't, you can hardly put any clothes in them. They're not feasible. All you do is end up, putting your clothes in, and by the time you're done with the wash, you're putting in, it's time to start all over again. I'm going to tell you that we have not experienced any of that on our end. Those things they're legit. They work. They do exactly what we expect, and they do a very good job. and they're not noisy. The only thing that I could say is that if we got a load in and we get into a spin and it's a little bit off balance, we got some movement in we'll get some movement in the trailer. You'll feel the trailer moving.
It's a massage.
Yeah, at some point,
really,
yeah. If there's an off balance that happens, and if we're laying back in the chair, I said this is kind of therapeutic. It's actually kind of nice, but
it's not vicious or anything.
yeah. So we'll have to show you those things. I mean, this is, like I said, there's just so many features on this thing that we want to talk about. The wireless, me turning on lights, putting out awnings. We can, control the slides. There's lights in here that we can control or actually just one light inside here that we can control with with our phone app. The pantry, how big that is. I mean, that's very nice. Something that just freed up so much space that we didn't even realize we needed. But yeah, the solar that's on the roof with the inverter, we want to talk about that with all the outlets that are available to run, as you drive down the road. So ideally I can have, like I said, security cameras running the whole time. Just lots of stuff. There's just lots of stuff that we would like to show you. So look forward to that. You definitely know about the RV, that's for sure. What else is it that we were wanting to cover that I said I can't wait until we get, obviously when we start traveling again, but there was something that we had to talk about and we're holding off on it. I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, you guys will get to see a generator video that I bought. We bought a generator, and I've got a problem with it, so I'll be covering that. That's kind of unique, that situation. We've had people inquire, and we've talked about it very little. I'm waiting for guys that, even if you care about this, I just want to mention it in case you've heard and you don't want to ask. I have no problem talking about it. Medically wise, the stuff that was going on with me, I don't know how many trips we've made to West Palm Beach from here. It's an hour and 15 minutes every time we go down there. I've had a ton of blood work. I've had CAT scans done on internal. I just had a lot of work, everything looked at as much as possible.
You've been worked over.
Yeah, pretty much worked over. Had the colonoscopy done, which was something they said, colonoscopy was fine. I don't have to have anything done for 10 years. I think I've talked about that already. And they did the endoscopy, and
We're waiting for results.
they took a biopsy of, I have polyps. They said they're not out of the ordinary. They just one of those things.
They always biopsy them.
Yep. So I've got to wait for the biopsy to come back for
They
that.
didn't do anything with his brain, though.
No, so that's still broken. Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to be able to fix that at all. But yeah, the only thing that at this point that we can really think that's going on is I do have a small hiatal hernia. I think that might have gotten to the point where we ate so poorly and I had gained so much weight that hiatal hernia was stressed. I don't know. I really don't know, but we are going to finally get back to eating healthy again. I'll be honest with you guys, 100%, which we usually are. I don't think we ever tell you any fibs, but whenever I got sick to the point where I was having my heart beating real fast and weird stuff, I weighed 280 something at the time. I think it was like 282. And I could not even drink water without this pressure just pushing. It was the strangest thing. I was sitting up in my chair. I couldn't lay back just like I have been this whole time. I would have to sit up in my chair. I'd have to massage my stomach and push on it. I was doing these belching things. I mean, it was just horrible.
Dr. Mike in the house.
Just to survive. I mean, on a daily basis.
That was terrible.
It was so bad. I couldn't eat. Heidi was making these.
I made this liver, not liver, but
liver friendly.
Yeah, liver friendly soup. And actually, we still eat it because we like it.
It's pretty good. But I could hardly eat anything.
It was terrible.
In 30 days, in less than 30 days, I lost 30 pounds doing that. And I wasn't ready to go on a diet, by no means. I didn't want to be on a diet. I wanted to go out and enjoy and go out, dinner with my wife and, go have tacos and stuff like that. And it wasn't spicy foods that did this. It was any food. I would have a yogurt and I'd be belching yogurt. I mean, it's just weird stuff. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle anything. And because the VA's a little bit slow with their process, I was actually it just started curing itself. Based on the fact that I had lost 30 pounds, we started eating extremely healthy. And we were exercising. I mean, when I say exercising, we'd walk 15 to 30 minutes a day. We'd make sure we walk. And it was slow walk. It wasn't anything crazy. But we made sure we were doing more than what we were prior. And everything started coming around to where I started feeling better and better and better. And I started being able to, it's like, you know what? I think I might be able to eat, and I don't know, a taco, and I would eat a taco and it was fine. Maybe a little bit of belch, nothing crazy. But anyways, it kept on getting better. So whenever I got to a point where I said, you know what, I'm just going to try to, and that was it. I went back at eating, again, I didn't want to be on a diet. Wendy's, chili, Dave's Double, chicken nuggets, fries, Frosties, pints of Ben & Jerry's Tonight Dough, a pint at a setting. I mean, the whole thing went right back to eating McDonald's, everything that you shouldn't be eating. That's what we were eating.
Yeah.
And I started putting the weight back on. I think I probably am up to maybe 260. I'm thinking, I haven't weighed myself. I'm guessing, well, the hospital's 255. I'm sorry, 255. I'm at 255. So I went from...
You gained 7 pounds.
Yeah. But I've been eating like I want to eat. I mean, just chips, dip, soda. Now
we suck.
Right. The one thing I haven't done, and I tried again last night. I have lost my taste. I mean, 100%. And it's almost sad for me to say it. I don't like drinking my Yukon Jack. I don't like the smell. I mean, it's like my face was pruning up. I thought that was my first attempt. That was my second attempt at drinking a little bit of Yukon Jack since all this started back in, when was that? December or January?
Yeah, it actually started before that.
Right.
But it really, January 8th is when you went to the ER.
Right. So since January 8th, I tried one time, I tried a little bit of alcohol. And I didn't, and then I just tried it last night, and I had handed HEIDI my cup, and it was, like I said, it was sad. It was all frosty and icy and cold out of the freezer, and the ice cubes, it was mixed up just right. And I handed it to her, and I said, I can't drink, just pour it down the drain. I said, nothing felt right about it. So
Bill wants to know if you still have your gallbladder. He said he had his out, and he said he felt much better.
Oh, really?
And they've never even mentioned your gallbladder at all.
No, I had 70 ultrasound pictures done. Again, I had the CAT scan done, had x-rays done, and what else? There was something else they did. Of course, a whole ton of blood work.
Multiple times.
The only thing out of all my organs and their functions, the only thing was my cholesterol is slightly high, barely high. My blood pressure's fine. Everything's fine. I mean, across the board, everything's fine for me. Yeah, heart, everything. For me and my age and all that stuff, my heart had to get, when I did the nuclear stress test, my number had to be 53, I think, and it was 65. And the higher, the better. They put me up to 93% of my heart's capacity on the treadmill, which, woo, you want to talk about a fast walk. I was huffing and puffing because they made me wear my mask. I had to keep a mask on the whole time, too.
I still can't believe that.
Oh, that was rough. I mean, I haven't walked like that in a long time, and it was just, if they stepped it up just one more, they had me walk at a pretty good clip for 3 or 4 minutes, and then they stepped it up and inclined it more for 4 minutes, And then they stepped it up again and made it go even faster for 4 minutes. And that was, I was puffing. I mean, I was really huffing at that point. And anyways, they put me up to 93% of my heart's capacity.
Outside.
Remember, you got your microphone.
I took it off.
Okay. And I rated 65. They said that you're fine. So out of all the stuff that they looked at, the only thing they seen was I have a fatty liver. It's a non-alcoholic fatty liver. They call it NASH. Some people call it NAFLD. And everybody that we talked to said that my liver is, instead of right around 8 to 10 centimeters, it is 15 to 17. Did I say centimeters? Yeah, I think that's right. Centimeters? Yeah, centimeters. It's 15 to 17 centimeters. And they said that if I was to lose the weight, that the reason the liver is fat is because I'm fat. And if I can get rid of ingesting the bad fats, then at that point, the liver would start losing its bad fats and it would go back to the size that it needs to be. So basically, everything that I've been told so far is, hey, you need to be on a diet and you need to exercise. And I mean, I talked to the one doctor and we had a heart-to-heart talk, and they pretty much said, you know, I was kidding around about it, but it's true. It's like, oh, I guess the party's over. You know, I mean, all these years, all my life, I drank what I wanted to drink. I ate what I wanted to eat, and I've never had, other than just being heavy and a little uncomfortable, I've never had an issue with it. At this point now, I guess the issues start. And just in time, next month is, what month is this? Oh, this is March. So let's see, April, May. So I've got 2 more months till my 55th birthday. So I'll have to remind myself that that must be another landmark number that my health changes. You're so old, die please. Oh, I'll think about that. Asaya? I'll think about that. I should die. I'm so old. Sorry guys, I'm going off camera because I'm probably sounding congested, because I found one of the disadvantages of being in Florida throughout the fall and winter and whatever is allergies. Holy cow. I don't know what I'm allergic to down here, oak or something. But man, there's allergy pollen alerts almost every day down here, and I'm getting hit with it. So sorry about the graphic noise. And I can't really see what you're typing because I don't have my bifocals and it's a little bit further away. Hubby had most of your symptoms. He had a hiatal hernia. After about 6 to 8 months of feeling crappy most of the time, they patched it and it was like someone flipped a switch. Oh, well, they said it's a very small hiatal hernia, and here's, I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm sure you guys could relate on some level. Echo.
Yeah.
I have pretty good willpower for the most part. I always have, all my life. When I want to go on a diet, and you guys can go back and look, in 2016, I decided to go on a diet. And in 2017, from November till May, I went from 250 pounds to 220 pounds. I think it was
somewhere around
250, 215 maybe?
215.
Yeah, 215. Because I just decided that's what I wanted to do. Something has happened since then that whenever I put the weight up, I want to go and I want to do a diet, but for whatever reason, I have this willpower problem that I've never experienced before. Whenever I did that diet before, I had symptoms that were similar to what I'm experiencing now. I had some apnea. I had obstructive sleep apnea. I'd wake up in the middle of the night just going, just
terrible.
gasping, you know, and it just full on, because something was closing in my throat, and I mean, it was horrible. So that's when I went on that diet back then and lost a decent amount of weight, and I felt fantastic. I felt great. I quit taking all my GERD medication, which I'm not taking any GERD medication either. I quit taking all of that. That was something else that
Probably.
caused it, probably, because they said if you
Helped.
take that GERD medication as much, a long time, which I'd been on it for 3 years, they said that stops that the pump inhibitor pill stops your acid pump from working, and that's good for GERD to some extent, but it's bad for bacteria and stuff. So I don't know, even though it didn't come up any kind of test, I don't know if I had some kind of bacterial problem or something that was causing an issue, but I quit taking those pills, and it was a short time after that I started feeling a little bit better. So I'm not taking those anymore. Nonetheless, getting back to the extremely long story about health, yeah, I dropped down to where I was into a low weight range for what I had experienced for all those years at 215. So when I was at 215, I still needed to get down to about 190. I know that, but I was so comfortable and I felt so good, and we went on that vacation for Florida for a couple weeks, and I started getting off the diet, and it just turned a corner at that point. But it's so sad to know that all of my problems that I had went away whenever I went on a diet and got down to the weight that I needed to be at. And here I am with that knowledge in my head, and I can't for the life of me do it. I don't know why, and I can't figure it out. I know it has to do with lifestyle. I know Heidi and I love to order food in. We like to go and eat out. We have my Ben and Jerry's Tonight Dough, which is like crack for me. I love that stuff. I sit and dream about it. I mean, I just like, God, I wish I had. I can picture the spoon going through the ice cream and me pulling up these chunks of chocolate, and I can't get. I'm trying to watch a TV, a video on TV or something, and that's all that's in my head. Anyways, it's at Wawa right across the street. It is. How fast can you walk there?
Oh, less than 5 minutes.
It's so close.
I can get there in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's so close. So it's like, and they got a buy one get one half off. It's like, So I'm struggling with that myself right now. And the other thing is because the diet that I've always done, the last 2 times I've been on diets, I do Atkins, and I do Atkins induction phase. I do nothing but hot dogs, lean hamburgers, chicken wings, tons of chicken wings, steak, pork chops. I try to stay away from sausage, and I kind of stay away from pork chops too, but I can do pork chops.
Bacon.
But bacon, lots of bacon. I can do that for, I don't know, 2 months straight. And I lose whenever I get into that induction phase. If I'm exercising at all, and I mean just being active, as soon as my stomach shrinks from eating less and I'm in ketosis, I lose a pound a day. It's just every day, a pound a day. It just falls off. Here's the problem with that. Heidi hates that diet.
Well, I can't be on it.
She can't. She doesn't respond to it the same way I do.
Yeah.
And it's so wrong for me to say, hey, listen, quit. And there's the other thing. My willpower is based on us not having it in this RV. Because I start craving the stupidest stuff that I don't normally crave. I'll sit here and go, oh my God, if I could just have a couple of salads with ranch dressing and croutons. Oh my God, just a big salad. I mean, I start fantasizing about that stuff. Not so much bread. I don't really have a problem with bread. Pizza, that's the other thing. I start craving pizza to where we'll order pizza without the sugary red sauce. And when I get it, I'll just get a meat pizza with mushrooms. And when I get it, I just peel all the toppings off and eat it, and then hurry up and throw the crust away. Because, of course, you can't have that stuff. I mean, there's ways around it. There's all kinds of recipes in that for, different types of Atkins-friendly bread and all that. But the way my diet works is eggs. That's the other thing. I eat a lot of eggs. And tuna. Tuna with Hellman's mayonnaise. Of course, Miracle Whip has got sugar in it, but Hellman's mayonnaise, and tuna fish. I'll eat a lot of that. That's the way it works for me. So I'm not really on, I just do the Atkins induction phase. So if you ever look what foods are allowed on Atkins induction phase, you'll see the limited list. I live off that for a few months and it works every time. But like I said, I also have to make sure I'm not tempted because I will get some weird cravings. And unfortunately, Heidi she does okay on Atkins. She just, I don't know, maybe we should try that again. Remember, because you would just do a salad occasionally. Maybe we could try that again. Welcome to the wing world. That's all he's doing is ordering wings. Naked wings. I'd buy 50 at a time, and I'd eat probably 25 at a sitting. All right, that's enough of the whole health talk. I need to talk about the RV stuff. So that's what our travel plans are. When we leave here, we will be departing here May 1st. We do have reservations right now standing for Vero Beach Sunshine Travels out off of 95, and we can stay there for 3 weeks. If my health continues the way that it is, and Heidi, she's got some health stuff that she's getting checked out now. If you guys remember, she's going to have LASIK surgery done. It turned into cataract surgery, and the day before all of it was supposed to go down, they were doing the final everything pre-op, and they checked her and they said, you have a regular heartbeat. They said, you should go to the emergency room. And at that point I said, well, that don't seem right. And she's asking Heidi, do you feel okay? And I was like, yeah, I feel fine.
So I went to the doctor's on Monday, and the family doctor checked me out and said that I have PVC heart, which beats extra. And so I have to go to a cardiologist.
You got extra heart.
Yeah. So I have to go see a cardiologist to make sure that's what it is. And I was reading up on it. Obviously I need to quit smoking. I need to quit with the caffeine. That could have an issue also. Plus I'm getting older.
So, right. And there's something that, for anybody that's watching this that might be a little bit younger or something, I want this to come away for, everybody talks about doing this kind of lifestyle while you're young.
Right.
I consider us young.
Right.
And even with us being young, we're running into some issues that we did not plan on, and it has to do with health. I mean, I haven't been to the doctor other than my yearly checkup when I go to the VA. I haven't been to the doctor for, I think, vertigo back in 2004. I had vertigo, inner ear vertigo. I think that was the last time I went to the doctor. So it's not like we don't get sick. Heidi had so many sick days at her work that were accumulated that she just never used. I mean, it just year after year, she had like 200 and some hours that just were there to use. We just don't normally get sick. So now we're on the road, we're traveling, we're doing what we wanted. And all of a sudden, because of age, we started getting into some medical issues that we really didn't expect. So I didn't want this to turn into what is so, in my eyes, I have a hard time with it because I don't know why. I just have a hard time with it. How many of you guys, you can type in there, you just thumbs up or smiley face or whatever. How many of you guys remember Rufus and Doofus?
Yeah.
My God, I watched that guy and I was so rooting for him because we were going to want to hit the road full time. He had a motor home that had a 460 in it, and he was struggling he was selling stuff at the house. He was selling his Harley. This guy was always out with his dog on his golf cart. I mean, I just liked watching his videos. He was entertaining. He was showing stuff that he was doing. And the funny part about this is not so much funny. It's almost weird. He lived just barely up the road. He lived probably 7 miles from here.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know. I mean, I knew he lived in Florida somewhere, but I didn't know he lived down here. And he was selling his place down here, and he was going to get in his motorhome and travel. Like I said, he had problems with the motorhome. We've passed the mechanic that he took his motorhome to get it fixed. He was just, and the guy got on the road. He was, hey, I'm on the road. This is great. Look at where I'm at now. I'm going out to the desert. And he met up with a bunch of people. He was having a great time and all that. Anyways, he got sick. He recovered, and then he died. And I'm like, my God, it just seemed so sudden, you know. And I didn't, you know, at some point with some of the stuff we were talking about, I'd like, God, I don't want this to turn into that channel. And he didn't either. He tried to play that stuff down as much as possible. Hey, you know, his voice was all shot because he had a tube in his throat for so long. His voice was really, you know, his voice was about like mine. I mean, he could enunciate. He spoke. You could hear him. And all of a sudden, he's whispering like this, and talking. You know, oh, it's you know, I'm feeling a lot better, guys, and thanks for the great wishes and stuff. And it's just, it was so sad to just see it all go away so fast. So I want to talk to everybody who's thinking about doing it still, that might be younger than us or even older than us. Listen, just do it. Just do it, please. I know that you've got to plan it out on some level. I know that in our situation, what we're doing looks ideal. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of stuff that just lined up for us and it worked out. If it didn't line up for us and work out, we would have been in our old Terry camper with that old 460 truck.
Yeah.
Because I was a mechanic, I could keep those things running. And we would have been work camping. We would have been gate guarding. We would have been doing the Amazon camper force. We've been staying at a campground. We'd be camp hosting. We would be maybe staying someplace, working a job, something, just to be out of the situation so we could go experience all this stuff. Like I said, it lined up based on a lot of things happening that we went a different route. We could go a different route. We were blessed when it comes to that, to where, you know, we have a newer vehicle and we have, you know, now a new RV. But I'm telling you, regardless of what your situation is, don't wait until it's perfect. Just make sure that it's doable. Just make sure that you can do it. Have a few backup plans and just go do it. I mean, I'm not telling you anything. It's life's too short. I mean, some of this health stuff that I was experiencing, I started the whole mortality thing coming to mind. Like, I cannot believe I couldn't even walk. Heidi's like, can we walk to the trash? And I would get halfway to the trash. I'm like, I can't do this. I got to go back to the RV. I don't have the energy to do it. And all I could think of is, what if we were traveling on the road and we weren't stationary, and we planned on being stationary all this time? What if we would have been on the road? And I mean, I couldn't even, I'd have to sit, you know, with a pillow behind my back and kind of spread out and take big breaths. And then I'd have to, again, set up and do all that stuff. I couldn't be towing down the road doing that. So again, it just reiterated what we already kind of knew. So I just want to spread that out to you guys and help you guys, you know, remember that if you haven't forgot about it. And I know a lot of you guys just watch. You're not planning on doing that. You just go out and do your weekend, you know, stays and stuff. But yeah, it is no fun to think about. Man, it's a lot of what ifs that were going on there. So yeah, we feel pretty good. I mean, health wise, I could. Not that I will. I would love to. Oh no, we are. We're having pizza delivered here in another half an hour or so. Yeah, we're going back to eating the way we want, and I shouldn't, but.
Well, it's because we had lunch late, and
no. Listen,
and he wanted pizza.
It doesn't make a difference. We don't have a good excuse.
we don't.
We could tell you all kinds of reasons, right. But none of them's a good excuse.
Yeah, well,
it's bad. It's just bad, and
I can't. He does the diet differently. I can't sit and not eat all day.
Oh, I can.
And the weight falls off. Me,
Yeah.
I want to go outside and walk, and and he don't want to do none of that. But he's gonna get back to walking again.
Well, riding for sure.
Well, walking, even if it's just around the park.
Yeah, so stay tuned also to that. I know sometimes I hate doing that stuff on some level, but I know a lot of you guys are out looking for things. So you're going to see a review more in depth on the bike that we currently have. We have another bike that should be delivered here. I don't know when. We'll be doing a review on that. Also, at one point in time, we'll be talking about this whole cellular data internet stuff again in very great detail. Hopefully you guys will join in for that, because we're talking a few weeks down the road, but I'm going to have every question answered for you guys, hopefully.
How's that?
Oh, we're going to have a special guest. I'm trying to work on it because it's been so long since I did a video to where we had more than one source for our camera. So that'll be in the future. Look forward to that. But we'll go over the RV. There's so many things on this. I'll tell you, it's awesome. Like when we did the leveling thing. Oh my God, that was so cool. I just pulled in and pushed the button, and the stupid thing, we just stand back and watch it, and next thing you know, it says, "Yep, you're level." I mean, it was great. But yeah, we've got some videos. I have videos coming out, like I say, every
Couple days,
2 to 3 days until April
2nd or 5th.
3rd or 5th or something like that. And we've got more that we'll be doing, so you'll be seeing more of that. And if you guys have anything that you're wanting me to maybe talk about, we can. I'll try.
Tonneau cover.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot all about that. Yes, I got to put that on my list. In the short, just to make the short of that real quick, to give you this summarization of what I'll talk about. I hate it. We got the tonneau cover. It was damaged. I didn't like dealing with the company that makes them initially. I ordered it from them directly, and they talked about how it was going to be so long until I got it. They said maybe I should buy it from a warehouse. So I decided to buy it from a Real truck, and they had it in stock, and they shipped it out right away. I got it. It was damaged. The company sent me the parts I needed. When I was installing it, I was not impressed with it. It just, the way that it went in, it didn't go in the way that I thought it was going to. I had to make some adjustments. Even now,
tell too much.
I know. Even now, it's a little bit tight in a couple places. However, now that we've had it, and there's one big downfall. You guys with long beds, save your pennies and maybe look at another brand, the Pace Edwards. There's a disadvantage to the Pace Edwards. I'll talk about that in the video, maybe, if I can remember. But there's one big advantage for anybody that has long beds to go with the Pace Edwards instead of the one we have. And that is the Pace Edwards. You can get a motorized version. It's very expensive though. You can't get a motorized version for long beds. I don't know why. I don't know what's involved, but a short bed, if you have a short bed, this tonneau cover is not bad. It does. I don't even know. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure how it keeps it so dry back there, because there seems to be, the tracks that the thing slides in and out of. And when we go to the car wash and stuff, I see all that water and soap going into the can. And I do have 2 drain hoses that run from the can that go through a couple rubber grommets that are in the bed and then hang down underneath the truck. And it all goes out. We've had some crazy rain here.
Heavy.
And the bed of the truck stays way drier than I expected. I just didn't expect it. It's a nice looking cover. It works. It does what it's supposed to. It's just not being motorized. I hate that stupid strap. It's always in the way. You load crap in the truck.
You put stuff on
You put stuff on the strap. Now you're trying to pull the strap out.
You trip on the strap.
Yeah, you're climbing in. Yeah, the strap's just laying there. It's always a pain in the butt.
Can you talk about the day cruise that we did? The cost and location, the casino cruise.
Yeah, well, we did it a couple times. You can do it during the week for normal stuff, and it's like $13.
Yes.
It is. If you guys want to go on a cruise, if you just want to go on a cruise and sit back and have something to eat and get drinks, it's $13 for how many hours?
4 or 5.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
$13 for each person. You don't have to gamble. You just go on the cruise and go back to the bar, and then there's a couple other bars in there too, and then there's a restaurant. You can go down and get food, and you could just hang out and enjoy the cruise. You know, they just go out in the ocean. You're not really seeing anything, but
Yeah, so it was $13,
and
it's worth it if you want to try to see what it's like.
and I'm going to tell you that we're not experts by no means. We're not big gamblers or anything like that. However, we find ourselves that we had been gambling more since we've been on the road and traveling because it's kind of fun, and that cruise pays out pretty. They pay.
Yeah.
You can find machines there because we just do slots, and you can get paid. You can actually at least come out even, maybe even ahead. There's people in there that are winning money, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that, especially like when we went on the New Year's cruise, that was $90. Was the New Year's cruise was $90 a piece, and
all free drinks and
big
free meal.
beautiful meal. The meal was awesome, but yeah, unlimited free drinks. Now, if you're paying the $13, as long as you're sitting at a slot machine, your drinks are free.
Yep.
They just come around and ask you for your drink order, and they bring it to you. You just tip the waitress. That's all.
Are we going to be getting the micro? Are you going to be installing the Microsoft Easy Start?
No,
or whatever.
not on this one.
I didn't think so.
The reason is because we went the budget route, and I got a 4,500 watt generator. We just wanted the. I felt so. I didn't feel bad. I just felt I didn't want to go on the roof of our old travel trailer and pull those things out, and then reinstall them in this one. And I don't want to spend $800 for 2 more and put them in the air conditioners. I mean, I really don't want to spend $400 and put them in the air conditioner. But the generator, and again, to catch you guys up with stuff, my whole generator mount, that whole system, all except the big mountain lock bumper on the back, all that whole thing I sold. I sold all of it. It all went away. A gentleman drove over from, I don't know, Tampa, and he had a race car, or his boss had a construction trailer or something, and they were using it. You know, it was all self-contained. All they had to do is mount the boxes like I had them mounted. They had all the hoses and the gas tank and everything and the keys, and that's it. And they also gave them the trays. They had a 4-inch bumper on the back of whatever they were doing. So the all they had to do is buy the new mounts for the trays, the Jenny Go trays, and they were able to clamp on and haul it. We knew we were getting, again, something we'll cover. We ordered this with one of the options, and that's the cargo tray that comes down here. I've got mixed feelings about it, but still, we've got it. So we can use that, potentially. We also have, they have a 350-pound 2-inch receiver back there, so we can mount something in that if we wanted. Of course, there's a 4-inch bumper back there. We could, do Jenny Go trays again from Mountain Lock and maybe put those safety struts on there if we wanted to do that. I mean, quite honestly, we didn't know how we were going to run the generator. We know that when we traveled with the Honda, we definitely used it when we stopped for overnighters at truck stops and stuff like that. It was on sale, and I bought a generator, a Champion, the 4,500 watt one, or it was real close to that. Doesn't even have electric start, just a regular pull start. It isn't a dual fuel, it's just gas. And I have an issue with it. So we're gonna have to do a video on that and talk about it. Yeah, we did that in place of, it was $760 for the generator. And I can run and do what I want, stop at a gas station or a truck stop for the night, and I can fire that up, and I can run a rooftop air conditioner. And I can run, the refrigerator, the microwave, one or the other. I can do that with that generator, no problem, without changing or putting anything additional up there. So I could potentially be able to run both rooftop airs, which probably isn't feasible because I don't have those soft starts in there. But anyways, instead of spending $400 on one of the air conditioners and $400 on the other air conditioner, and then buy or have that small generator to run those two and figure out mounting all that stuff back there, I just decided to sell all that stuff, start back at scratch, to first base, whatever I'm trying to say there. Start square one. Start back at square one and just get a generator that will power this when we stop. And that 4500 had a bigger gas tank. The run time was longer with the gas tank then, or I would have got the old generator like we used to have, the smaller one. But anyways, we had a problem with it, and there's no spark in it right now. I got to fix that. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing the micro air easy start. I still think they're great. They're nice to have, but in this case, we chose to go a different route, which we'll talk about. We'll I have a feeling that, well, it's next month. Now that I think about it, it's just
April.
Yeah, but it's March 24th now.
Yeah.
How many days are in March? 28?
31.
31? Okay. So we have basically until the 31st, and then I have April to get all this stuff done so we can hit the road. Because I don't really like doing a lot of those videos, of stuff when we hit the road. However, our 1,000 Trails membership that we got into, I mean, we can stay 3 weeks at a time, so we could stretch it out if we wanted.
How's the toilet?
The commode is great. It's, it fit. That was the main thing. I did all the measurements I could, and it looked like it was going to fit, and it did. It's very tight.
It barely fit.
It barely fit, but it fits in there, and I am more than comfortable in there. Way more comfortable.
I'm glad he's comfortable.
Because that other commode that we had, I don't know.
I didn't have any problem with it.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, and I kid around about it. I'm like, I told somebody else, I said, you got to get that elongated one.
You'd be peeing on the floor.
I can't, you can't get your junk. There's no room. I mean, it's a circle. And I've never been used to that.
Okay, enough already.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's just no room. I can't use it. It just doesn't work.
Cabot Trail? No.
Say, do what? The Cabot Trail. I don't even know where that is. Where is that?
Me either. I don't know. Maybe David could tell us.
Washer and dryer.
Yes. Yes, it is working out.
Oh.
Awesome. We're going to do a review on them.
Oh my God. It's
for sure.
I really didn't think they were going to be that good. I mean, we went from, normal, no problem here. The laundry's awesome here. It's cheap. It's rarely busy. It's very close. It's easy to get to. All the things you can imagine about having a laundromat. This is ideal. This one ideal here. If you don't want to dry your clothes real cheap, they've got big clotheslines available. You can hang out all your clothes. I mean, all that stuff. Nova Scotia. Oh, I don't think we'll be going up into Canada. I seriously doubt it. I would like to, but the first thing I'd have to do is worry about concealed carry stuff.
The only way we could do that is if we go home.
Yeah, we'd have to go home. I'd have to drop off
stuff. Go to
stuff.
Michigan and do that up there.
But the fact that we took in that step, we forgot what it was like. We've been in an RV. We've been living in an RV now for 2 years.
June will be 2 years.
Yeah, June will be 2 years.
October will be 2 years on the road.
Right. So this June we'll have lived, full time in an RV. Because at the house we were still, we were living in it in our driveway. The house was empty. We were just living in it in the driveway. We did have a washer and dryer available to us in the house. But since we've been on the road, we just got used to the laundromats. It's kind of a routine. It's part of the experience. It's part of the whole deal. And we forgot what it was like just to say, oh man, these clothes are, I've worked in them today. I wanted to wear them tomorrow or something. You know, we could throw them in the washer. You know, Heidi keeps up with that stuff real easy. She gets so many outfits or so many towels and washcloths. She just throws them in there, and next thing I know, they're washed, they're dry, they're done, and it's easy.
I've never found anything online that says how much clothes you could put in there, so I try to max it out.
It work.
I haven't had a
works.
problem yet. I haven't
Yeah.
like overstuffed it or anything. I mean, you know how much laundry you can put in a washer.
Right. But yeah, what else you got? Those are all good questions. I'm glad you guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can't see what's going on. So Heidi, hopefully she didn't miss anything there.
Yeah, I think that we're good. I ran a 50 amp plug to Kingpin and keep my Champion generator in the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
And run it in the bed. That's probably what we'll do.
Yeah, I think we could get away with it. Even though we have the bed rug in the truck, that's the one thing that I was concerned with, because that hot air that blows down out of that generator, I mean, it's hot. I don't think that it would necessarily melt that. I don't know though. It might loosen the mounts because they're just Velcro adhesive on the bed liner. Because we have a spray and bed liner in the truck already. Heidi says she will not get up inside the truck if I take that bed liner out.
Never.
So the bed liner's got to stay in there, because I do have her go up and say, hey, can you go back and get this or that? And she crawls up in there. And I do too. Whenever I'm working on stuff, I crawl up in there.
I don't have any skinned up knees.
So we got to watch with the heat coming off of, not the exhaust, so much, but the engine exhaust, because that vent blows down. So I guess maybe if I carry a piece of plywood or something with me that's a little bit bigger, but we do have that one, that might work, that little square. If I position it in the right place, we might be able to do that. And I'm sure we could secure it back there. Here's the thing with that is a disadvantage, guys. I'll let you know right away. That tall generator that we have, that generator we have, that 4500, will not fit underneath this tonneau cover with the bed rug, and I don't even think it'll fit without the bed rug. That was a misstep on my part.
Which I can't believe you made a misstep.
Right. When I got that generator, I never thought that it would be too tall to fit underneath the tonneau cover. So we can't put it back there unless we're hooked up to the RV. So I think it might be a situation where the generator stays on the back of the RV when we're traveling. If we need it for the night, I take it off the back of the RV, and then I bring it up to the front of the RV, and I can hook it up in the bed of the truck and secure it there. However, if it's already in the back, it's already there, why don't I just run my cord right around the corner and plug into it? Yeah, if I would have thought about that a little bit better, I would have done it.
It's close. It is so close, though.
It is really very close. I could probably bend the top a little bit and pull it over, and it would just skim across the top. No, because I had the gas cap off even.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean, it's super close.
Without
just at one more inch.
Yeah, without the bed rug in there, maybe. I don't know.
We actually, remember, we pulled that back.
Oh yeah, that's right, we did.
Yeah,
it's just too tall. It's too tall for that bed cover.
How much does the 3800 weigh?
The 3800. Well, you're talking about the generator, right? Well, I have a 4500.
Oh, somebody else has a 3800, I think.
The 3800 is what we used to have, that dual fuel one, and it's like 100 pounds. All of them are about right around 100 pounds. I think it was 90 to be exact, but that was with a battery and electric start. The one we have now does not have a battery and does not have an electric start, so its weight is still up there. I think it might be 80 pounds, maybe. I can't remember what it is, but I wanted the bigger gas tank. That's the only reason we went with it, because if you think about it, you want to run your air conditioner and make sure that it makes you through the night. So maybe you don't have to refuel in the middle of the night. What we found with that Honda and that extended gas tank was that when we got to a truck stop, we found our parking spot, or rest stop for that matter, or Walmart. We would find our parking spot, and we would fire up the generator you know, turn on the gas, hook it all up, fire up the generator, and then turn on our air conditioner. And then we would go in and get something to eat, or we go to Walmart and do grocery shopping, whatever it was. By the time we came back, the RV started cooling off quite a bit inside. And by the time it was, we were ready for bed. If we bought something to eat, we would turn it off briefly for Heidi to run the microwave, and cook up whatever it was, or reheat, or make sandwiches or whatever. Then we'd turn the air back on, and then we would sit and eat. And then at that point, we would, by the time we were ready for bed, sometimes we took showers if we carried enough water with us. But by the time we were ready for bed, the RV was at that point usually cool enough for us to sleep really well. And of course, it kept us cool all night long. So we knew that, for you to think, well, all I need to do, I only sleep 7 hours. I just need a generator to run for 7 hours. Well, it's not so much that. It's getting it to a cooling point in the first place, to where it's comfortable, and then have it run for your 7 hours of sleep that you're going to get. So it's always, I always need it to run like 13 hours, maybe 14 hours. There's something else too that I want to talk about on the fifth wheel here, that while we got you guys on the horn here. Whenever we got our travel trailer, when we had our Terry travel trailer, we had a 13,500 BTU air conditioner, and it would freeze us out. Absolutely freeze us out of that thing. So when we ordered our Rockwood, our 2020 Rockwood travel trailer, we ordered it with one rooftop air conditioner. We upgraded to the 15,000. It came with a 13.5. We said we want the 15,000, and that's how our order was initially. We'd gone out with Greg and Juanita.
Yep.